Northern Ireland to Kuala Lumpur.
I teach not just from the head, but from the heart. If we do that, we will find our team members a lot more cooperative.
Let's get into it. My name is Coach Wendy Wong, and I'm the Managing Partner for PETADIRI Leadership, where we support the development of leaders through coaching and training programs. With me is one of our esteemed coach and trainer, Lyle English. And Lyle's mission is to help managers become confident leaders. Lyle was originally from South Africa and is currently based in Northern Ireland. He has 25 years in management and has worked in 16 different countries. Lyle's work has been recognized through the years through multiple awards, including the Business Person of the Year award in Johannesburg. Today, I'm delighted to have him share with us his take on the simplicity of leadership. Hello, Lyle.
Good morning. Yes. Nice to meet you again. Good to be with you. And thanks for the opportunity just to talk about something that I'm really passionate about.
It's our pleasure, Lyle, to have you. Just for your information, I just checked. Lyle and I are 10,863 kilometers apart. Northern Ireland to Kuala Lumpur, and we are connected. So thank you.
We are side by side on the screen.
That's wonderful. So Lyle, every time I speak to you, every time you talk about leadership and the simplicity of leadership, your eyes just light up. The passion comes through again and again. So before we go into the nuts and bolts of the simplicity of leadership, tell us a little bit about your passion. What brought you to have so much interest in the simplicity of leadership?
Thank you, Wendy. Yes, and I don't think there was one magic moment that it just sort of happened. It was a gradual process based on my very real hands-on experience. And if I can just take you back, I was working with the Building Society in Johannesburg as a investment consultant, and I was a very successful investment consultant. And then 9 months after I joined the Building Society, our boss, the sales manager, got promoted. And totally unexpected, I got promoted to the job of sales manager. Now, this was I had no management experience. And as very often happens, the reason why I was promoted to sales manager was because I was a very good investment consultant. And as I said, I knew nothing or very little about management. Fortunately, I had a good mentor who helped me, but I had some real challenges. Two people in the team were very disappointed and actually quite angry that they hadn't got the job. They were saying, how come this person has only been with the company for 9 months to get the job? So I had to work out how to work with them and get them on my side. So that, I guess, was the start of my realization that being a manager was much more than just achieving objectives, hitting the numbers. It was very much a people business. And then I moved through various management roles within the bank and finished up as a branch manager with 45 people. And during that time, Wendy, we were going through a big restructuring, and my part of the business was really affected. And I had staff who were being made redundant and changes made, and I spent an incredible amount of time talking to people, showing empathy, supporting them, helping them through the change curve. And again, I suppose that shaped my fundamental belief that being a manager, being a leader is all about the people. And I suppose that's where it started. That's how it happened. And that is something that I have promoted through all the work that I do. It's all about people.
A couple of thoughts as you spoke is that time and role alone is not enough for us to be leaders, right? We need to have that people skill, and that interest and an empathy for people. So, and I could see how agile you are, that moves from, technical side and into the sales and marketing. So, wow, what a beautiful story there. So tell us a little bit about, in a nutshell, what is the simplicity of leadership all about from a course perspective?
Well, I really believe that we have made leadership a lot more complicated than what it really is, and we've sort of covered it in layers of models and frameworks and approaches and techniques, etc. And all those have a place. But I really believe that although leadership is not always easy, it is simple. And let me explain why I say that. I believe that if each manager, each leader just remembers that we are working with human beings that have human being needs, just like you and just like me. So, typical, we want to be recognized, we want to be appreciated, we want to be supported, we want to be involved, we want to be asked for our opinion, we want our boss to take an interest in us, we want our boss to thank us, to ask what's going on at home. And and those are basic human being needs. And if you meet my basic human being needs by doing those sort of things, I will see you as being personally credible. And to put a very simple word to it, if you're my boss and you do those sort of things to me, I will like you. And the more I like you, the more I will be happy to work with you, to go the extra mile, to put in extra effort, to really perform. So for me, it's, yes, the numbers are important and targets are important and all of that. But for me, there's not enough focus on meeting the human being needs of the people that we're working with. And if we were just to focus more on meeting those human being needs, those basic human needs that we all have, if we do that, we will find our team members a lot more cooperative, willing to work for us, willing to go the extra mile, willing to perform. And that's why I say, leadership is simple. It's not always easy, and there will always be those leadership challenges. And that's why it's important to have the leadership toolkit to help you with those challenges. But for me, the basics of leadership is look after your people, meet the people's human being needs, and you'll be amazed at the difference that will make to the culture and the look and feel of your team.
So what I'm hearing is it's meeting human being needs, which is a foundation, because we're all people. And we need to interact. Absolutely. And we need each other.
Yeah. If you recognize, if you thank me, if you appreciate me, if you take an interest in me, I will like you. And I will want to work with you and be with you and help you. And the same goes in a business context, in a team context. It really, really is as simple as that.
And I really like what you said about simple is not easy. Yeah. But the simplicity with toolkits supported by, toolkits and frameworks, that's going to help us show up stronger as leaders.
Yeah. There's no such thing as a perfect boss or a perfect team or a perfect, there will always be those challenges. And that's why you need a leadership toolkit. But the basic principle, the basic fundamental of leadership is treat your people like human beings.
So if, there are a lot of leadership training programs out there. So Lyle, share with us what makes this program unique.
Yeah, and I've been on many training programs myself, Wendy, and I sometimes find that they are very cold. When I say cold, very theoretical, very, lots of principles and definitions and frameworks. And again, there's obviously a place for that. But I believe that understanding the simplicity of leadership really is helping, first of all, is helping people really understand what that means. What do we mean when we talk about the simplicity of leadership, and helping them understand what does leadership look like? on a day-to-day basis. What will you be doing? What will you be saying? What activities will you be involved in as a leader? So it's helping them understand the fundamentals of, there's also, we bring in the idea of there's leading and there's managing, and those are two very different roles. And I like a one-word definition for a leader is a pathfinder. So the pathfinder looks to the future, sets a vision, sets a strategy, and gets people excited about that. And then the manager is a pathminder. And so what we're saying there is that once the direction has been set and the strategy has been put in place, the manager make sure that that path is followed by planning and organizing, controlling and managing. And it's really important to help people understand the difference. And then a question I often ask is, so irrespective of your title, are you a manager or a leader? And the correct answer is you have to be both. There are times when you've got to be the leader, and there are times when you've got to be a manager. And that's a really key principle that we help people understand in a very practical, easy to understand way. And then once we've done, sort of laid the foundation, Wendy, we then, as I said earlier on, we then look at the leadership challenges typically that we have, and we start to develop a leadership toolkit for them. So how do they deal with managing remote teams, which is something is very relevant today, is how do you lead people through change? And how do you have difficult conversations sometimes? How do you give and receive feedback? How do you be assertive? How do you influence people? So those are all practical skills that any leader needs. And that's what we then help them develop, and we share with them simple tools that aren't complicated, that aren't difficult to use. They can go away the next day and start to use those tools. So they go away with a very practical, easy to use toolkit that will help them be really good leaders. And our workshops, be it in person or virtual, very interactive, lots of participation, breakout rooms. It's not just me using a whole bunch of slides talking. We get the people involved, we get them to share their experience. Sometimes we get them to bring a leadership project to the program to work through. We have a buddy system sometimes. So it's highly interactive, highly practical, easy to use concepts and tools that they can put in place straight away.
So what I'm hearing is the uniqueness of this program is the fact that it's not theory. You've brought it down to real practical, applicable ways of using the Pathfinder, balancing it with Pathminder, which I think is really nice. It's not just a coin of word, but there's real, meaning to that balance.
Absolutely.
And be supported by lots of toolkits and having it interactive and experiential.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
By you, who is, have so many years of experience in this. So
yeah, absolutely.
That's wonderful.
Absolutely, yeah.
So that sounds like
fun. And I think just to add to that, Wendy, I believe that the value that I bring to any program is that I teach not just from the head, but from the heart as well. So it's not just theory. I teach because I have the experience, and I've been there, done that, got the T-shirt, as it were. So it's not just a head thing; it's very much a heart thing as well.
So thank you, Lyle, for that. So now we're very clear that how unique this is, and you've been all around the world. You understand cultures, and you've seen it in so many ways and forms. So that wisdom is really, nuggets of gold there, right?
Yeah.
So
and you know what, Wendy? Yeah, and you know what? No matter where I do this work, the leadership challenges are all the same.
Yeah.
Whether it's in America or in Beijing or wherever, they're just different words, different ways of putting it, but the challenges are the same. And so the message from this program is applicable wherever we present it.
So with this, I'm curious to know, Lyle, share with us perhaps the stories of transformation of participants that have gone through your program and have emerged stronger and better leaders?
Oh, I could keep you busy. I and even, I've run, typically a big program that I do is a 3-month program, 5-month program. And then it's amazing to see the change, even in that short space of time. And I talk about leadership skills development. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. It's an ongoing journey. And it's just piece by piece, bite-sized chunks, developing those skills over a period of time. Um, what I see very often, even at senior level and more junior level, is perhaps for the first time having an appreciation of what leadership really is and what that looks like and what they need to be doing to do leadership. And realizing that it's spending time in that leadership space that will help them create real value for their organization. We then also talk about how do you create the time to do leadership without working longer hours, without taking more work home. And that's a big eye opener for people. So I'm really delighted when I hear and see people start to understand the importance of doing leadership and making time to do leadership. And for me, that's a big takeaway. If they take away nothing else from the program, that for me is a massive takeaway. And because of that, then with the toolkit that we mentioned, is being more confident as a leader. I'm about helping managers become confident leaders. And even in a short space of time, you can see how folk are more confident in what they say, how they approach, their attitudes, their mindset, as to how they approach. I currently have a young girl on I'm doing a leadership program for 15 people for a youth charity here in Northern Ireland. And one of the participants is a young girl. She's 23 or something. But this is her first management role that she was promoted to about 2-3 months ago. And just to hear the things she is saying and the things she's doing already with her team, having conversations about her vision, talking about a strategy and getting the team involved, talking about the values and unpacking that for the team, with the team, spending time getting to know the people. I talk about, getting to know the whole person. So what motivates the people? What are their triggers? What are their aspirations? What's going on at home? Not that you want to get involved or interfere, but the better you know the whole person, the better you will know how to help them give of their best. And I often hear people say, the biggest takeaway from the program is that I realize I need to spend more time with my people. And just hearing that is just music to my ears. So this I call her a young girl, she's 23 or whatever, but she's a brand new manager. And just hearing her talk about leadership, hearing about the leadership actions that she's planning to do. She's done a little exercise that will help her understand the different styles within her team. I mean, that's amazing for a young manager to be already doing that with a team of 7 people. And then, I've worked further up the scale, obviously, with managers who've been in manager roles for some time, but maybe just need to be brought back down to basics and just really understand what they're there to do. I have a little saying which says, there comes a time where you stop getting paid for what you do and for what you know, and start getting paid for the value that you create. And it's only spending time in that leadership space that you really create real value.
It's so heartfelt, and it's about the whole person. It's about our humanity. And I think what I'm hearing as well is going through that with you allows people to create that awareness and get inspired to then lead. And once you're inspired, once we're all inspired, we'll use the toolkits and make a difference. And it's not going to be only for ourselves, but for all the rest of the people that we lead.
Absolutely.
And it transforms organization.
Absolutely.
So that's really wonderful. And guys and girls out there, or ladies and gentlemen out there, if you're interested to know more about the simplicity of leadership, and if this sort of, the heartfelt, the humanity of being human and leading each other, people, if those things resonate with you and you'd like to learn more, or you want to encourage your teams to have the simple yet real mindset of leadership, do contact us. We're at www.PETADIRI.com, and we look forward to hearing from you. So thank you, Lyle, for your time. Really appreciate this. And for all of those out there, all of the people out there, if you're interested, do give us a call.